Give me what I need instead of the drama. 'Cause when it pop off, it's like, oh my, all good all day, but the night we be going so hard on the flip side. So tell me where we on a day, babe. I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe? I'd rather be on that way. Told you you so extra, but I know I'm the same. Love me in spite of my trauma. Give me what I need instead of the drama. 'Cause when it pop off, it's like, oh my, all good all day, but the night we be going so hard on the flip side. So tell me where we on a day, babe. I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe? I'd rather be on that way. Tryna control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we could share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead, but we could go all night. Now all of my calls go to voicemail. I block you so I don't raise hell. Should've talked through it in detail. Our separate ways ain't gon' end well, no. But when we get back, it's like, oh my, all bad all day, but the night get that good, good till we act right. So tell me where we on a day, babe. I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe? I'd rather be on that wave. Tryna control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we can share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead. We could go all night.
I've been calm, cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves. And knowing your intention, I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm admitting that a couple things I said got acidic in the tone and the presence. I get careless. Long as you know I come with imperfections. When you look at me, you see the soul through my flesh. You something special. Know you looking bomb the way you dress and gone, flex and hold it still and let my mind digest. You got the leverage. You got the upper handle on the situation. You worthy of a million more of the storms that we weather. We fight retreating, then fuck, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody's stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen, run the castle, you a treasure. Feel like you setting fire to my desire for the pleasure. You a gem, got me blemish, make amends, know you can, I'm out here.
Tryna control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we can share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead, but we could go all night.
Okay, let me get in here. Hold on. I got a question.
I wanna get you all alone now and go hide away from the lights, but I don't dare to. I'm too fragile, and for that I do apologize. Maybe some
Yes, we can work it out.
but I'm afraid
We know the
truth. Baby, I don't dare to love you, and you know the
reason why.
Don't you know I'm ready to swim? Get you through the waves, compassion. afraid to admit. I used to feel safe, next to you, babe. Now I'm thinking that I'm so hit. Maybe someday we can work it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to try. Baby, I know that I love you,
And you know the reasons why.
don't you know I'm way too weak to swim? Can't you feel the waves come crashing in? Really, I'm saying
Up to the middle of the night.
screaming, oh my God,
Cause your love's too deep.
you know
Your love's too deep.
I reach out in the middle of the night, screaming, oh my God, 'cause
Your
your
love's too deep.
you know your love too deep.
Oh shit.
Love too deep.
Oh, what up, y'all? I was looking for my notes. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm pumping these cough drops. They say sometimes when you're sick in one area, you address another area, then maybe it'll help the area that is actually giving you the problem. So I'm eating cough drops, some Halls, nothing wrong with my throat, but I'm thinking it still might help my sinus. I'm a little backwards, okay? How y'all doing? I did not mean to come on tonight, but I have been reading and kind of just looking over a lot of things tonight, and now I can't. I think my notes might be in the truck, y'all, because I did want to touch on the Shabazz Chronicles just for a minute. So, I'm going to have to go look in the truck because I know I had it. I just don't know what the fuck I did with it. Maybe they... no, it ain't in there. Let me see if it's in my purse, y'all. Hold on. Because I know I had them damn notes in my purse right here. So I had to come in... Ooh, I wonder if I threw them away. God damn it. I had some notes, y'all. I ain't lying. I had to take some notes on that. But in the meantime, because I don't want it to get too late and I don't want to start the sneezing and the sniffing on the live. But thank y'all for joining me. As y'all can see, the title has, I have a question and I just couldn't find the answer to it because... one source is going to take you to another source, going to take you to another source, and the sources can be so long, you'll end up researching like forever for this. So I thought, well, maybe I'll come to the chat right quick just to see if maybe I can get an answer out of you intelligent people. I'm coming to the chat. So hey everybody, with something interesting to read, just to do some things. But you say Shabazz says that his conscience is better. I don't have my notes, and that sucks. What the fuck? What the hell did I do with it, y'all? What did I do with it? I bet you I put them in my goddamn Dunkin' Donuts bag because I was cleaning out my console on my truck. I know I had it in my hand. I bet you I set it in that bag. And if I put it in that bag, I done tossed that bag outside in the dumpster. So, I don't know, whatever it is. I'm going to try to touch on some of the things and what I think, in my opinion about the Shabazz thing. Because I think I kind of might have figured it out. But it's hard to say whether if he's dropping clues or not. And it's hard, and on the other hand, you look at the big overall picture that he's putting out, it's almost like that there's a separate beef going on, but entangling some of the R. Kelly Chronicles with his other beef that's going on that has something to do with who's the best film producer or, some things like that. So I'm just guessing that some other things kind of going on with them. And I went back to try to, listen to the little bit of the Choke No Joke and one guy that was on there. I had it all written down, so I ain't going to even try to call these names out. But there's something else going on with that as opposed to some entanglement with the R. Kelly Chronicles too. And the only reason why I'm mentioning the R. Kelly Chronicles with that, to me, it seems to appear like that would be one strategic way to bring all of the Kelly supporters over, to listen, kind of like Choke No Joke, where he drops his things and everything, and it'll draw all of R. Kelly supporters or ears over there because you hear R. Kelly, R. Kelly, R. Kelly. Same thing over with the Cousin Levi show or the Bookham show or anybody's show out here. If you see R. Kelly and people are speaking of him, it, everybody's going to go running because everybody wants to hear it. What do you know? Well, what do you know? What do you know? Well, what do you know? All of that stuff. So, hey, Native, Shannon, Queen, Sherry, Simply, hello, hello. Anybody else coming in after I do my hellos, I'm going to have to catch you on the rebound because I don't plan on being here that long. Sherry, hello. Beauty is cooking some din-din. Ejaculate and Skin Tight, hello. Welcome to the chat, Skin Tight. Glad to have you here. Please like and share the channel if you decide that you like it and you want to come back. I try not to make every day, or when I do come on, about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. I be watched very closely out here. It's almost like some ghost stalking or some shit, right? I have taken the time to try to ignore as much as possible as I can so that action don't get a reaction out of me. If a lot of people here can understand what I'm trying to say, I'm over that hump. I'm over it. I indulged myself into a lot of Joyce Meyer today. And listening to her message, hey Monet, listening to her message on the type of people that likes to trigger an action with words. So I'm over that hump. Rita, hey, I'm over that hump. I've gotten to the position where, talk to yourself. And Joyce Meyer puts out a whole lot about what to do when people find you as their business, you as their business. So I'm over that. However, so that there is no contradiction, I do attempt to try to do some YouTube creating, and not quite yet at that level of a blogger, because in my definition of being a blogger, you kind of attacked a whole bunch of different dialogues and subjects out here and not just one. So when you're stuck in under one umbrella, to me, you're just a YouTube creator. Bloggers, they attack demographical topics, the subjects out here on different various of people, whether if you're doing entertainment or some other particular curriculum activity. You want to teach people how to cook or sew, or teach them finances or political subjects and or socialism, all of that good stuff. I consider those people as of bloggers out here. Okay, I don't want to get here too long. I don't want to be here too long. And you guys know, are you loving my red? Thank you, girl. That I can talk. I will go on and on and on. I like to hear myself talk. I love to hear myself laugh. And when I'm in this mood right here, that tells me that nothing can overbear my spirits. I'm going through this sinus, whatever crap this stuff is, and I'm going to be okay. I did catch an article today. When you're sick or you're going through some things, I don't know what it is. It's like a premonition thing. But I was going through an article. I just so happened to pick it up, and I was like, oh, wow, interesting. Sinus and, sinus cancer, right? I'm going to continue to, hold on, you guys, because I keep getting this Power Shield page or something popping up, which I have to find out what that's all about. Let's get into this. Like I say, with the Shabazz thing, I kind of gave you guys my opinion on that. I don't have my notes. I want to go and find them. Because I really want to to kind of just put a little bit of my opinion on it, which is what I just did. I think that there's a whole nother situation going on, but yet then the people that will come to your channel, if they see R. Kelly name or they hear it, it'll come a running. One thing that I did notice about it once I started to listen to it, I got probably almost 10 minutes in. So then I had to go, what did his title say? And yes, there was, he never jumped back to delivering names, which I assumed was going to be names affiliated under the Robert Sylvester Kelly's umbrella, but it wasn't. It was pretty much names of some situation that is going on between him and some other guys, about some production or shit, and calling out people, sexual preference or something like that. So I don't know. I wasn't feeling today's message. Was it yesterday? Today's message by him. I really wasn't. Oh. We said, let us jam while you find it. And I think they in the truck. I really do think it's in the truck. I'll probably take commercial. But let's get into this right here. Because I brought you guys here because I said that I cannot find an answer. I'm going to go from the... What you want, Boopy? I'm going to go from the end of my subjects to the beginning of what my title is. Okay? So I'm going to address that a little bit later. If you are just now joining the chat, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and so that you'll know I appreciate that you're here. We ain't going to be here long, except for, I have to read over an article, something that I just kind of want to find humor in, okay? You say he didn't. No, he didn't. He really didn't. And I sat all the way through it, and I was like, I was tapping my fingers, though, Native. I was like, okay, winner. We're going to talk about these names with the attorney, because he started off like that. He started off like that, though, Native. He was like, he's going to talk about the names of the attorneys and who's all some crooked people. And then after 2 minutes of talking about that, I sat for 8 minutes and 20 more seconds. It still wasn't nothing. Then next thing I know, I'm sitting there throughout the whole freaking commentary, and it was about this dude that's on Choke No Joke, and they're just blasting out each other. And to me, it was about the film production and who was there and who the lame is and who ain't getting shit, and this why you're there, and you can't say this, and how a bitch nigga gonna know me. And then I'm sitting there going, wait, dog, let me rewind this a minute. Back to the first 2 minutes. First 2 minutes. Okay, the first 2 minutes clearly says that, I'm going to be telling you guys who's all crooked in the MF game of the attorneys of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. So I'm sitting and I'm waiting. I was like, man, you know what? Listen, they gonna cut it, because I ain't got time to be wasting no popcorn on no clickbaits. Now, get to the juicy part of it. Because listen, wasted my popcorn, girl. I can't waste my popcorn on shenanigans like that. Because if you listen to him today, we all really, in my opinion, we was hoaxed, okay? We got to sit there, and I don't know how many of you guys actually know the drama history about him and the guy that was on Choke No Joke. I don't know. So I'm sitting here going like, what the fuck? Okay. And so it's hard for you to follow along if you don't know the history of these guys, because it's going to sound like they're talking in circles, like both of them. But he insisted, I'm going to call all you people out, and I'm going to say this, but what the hell did the guy on Choke No Joke has anything to do with Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly? And here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. Tony, I don't think it's up. I couldn't find it. I didn't see anything, and I know exactly what you're talking about, Tony, but I couldn't find it. So somebody's going to have to send me the link so I can give y'all my opinion on that, because I could not find it unless it has been deleted. So I'm sorry on that one, Tony. You're gonna have to send me the link so I can bring you the goddamn TT, the opinion TT, on that, but give me a second, because I will have an opinion, just a small minor opinion about the phone call that I'm hearing that happened around here. So I'll give you my opinion on it. But what I'm thinking is, and I have to ask Native and most of you guys that was, that went to listen to Shabazz, and then if you jumped over to Choke No Joke to get the other part of the story of where this is all coming from, right? I'm thinking, well, did it somehow, it kind of sound like, no, listen, lady, it did kind of sound like, could these be some of the people that, that then paid some of the people or some people, to cause this chain effect, with Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly? Could it possibly be that? Because as I was listening to it, now hear me out, and I'm listening to all of this, the Kodak moment shit, right? And I'm thinking to myself, what are you implying that it's a possibility that the guy that he is arguing with, along with, what was the other guy named Tory something? Do you remember hearing that? Did y'all remember hearing the name Tory? I need to go get my paperwork. God damn it. Tory something, right? The guy that Shabazz called out, that is known as the head, huncho muncho, that came up in the game and became rich off of making DVDs, CD, you know what I'm saying? So, because of my crazy wild thinking, right? My wild thinking in my mind is on thoughts up under the R. Kelly umbrella, right? And all of the past history things that has been saying, right? And I was like, well, what would be, and this just me, just my crazy wild thoughts, right? What up, D Sad? How are you? Welcome to the chat, sweetheart. And I'm saying to myself, well, Tory, I can't think of his name, but he called out a game that's supposed to have came up big, Don Diva's magazine. But what is the name he called? It was like Tory something, right? And this is the guy that makes all the movies and woo out on the street, bootlegging them, right? So the first thing that pops up in my head when I hear that shit, I was like, Lord, please don't tell me, allegedly, that this is the guy who possibly, that went to, that Lisa Van Allen them, that then went to, in the husband, and they had these copies and stuff made, and this is how they all dropped out here. But that's just my wild, crazy thinking, y'all, when I heard that, because my mind is up under the things that's going on under the R. Kelly umbrella. But I also, it triggers some of the past stuff too. That was DVD, Don Diva's magazine. This guy came up rich. He's known for, copying and getting bootlegs and shit all out there to the stands and woo. And I promise y'all, the first thing that popped in my damn head with that crazy wild ass thought was the Lisa Van Allen, and when they said they had to make all these copies, and then it was said that R. Kelly had to pay what you call it, Lisa Van Allen husband or whatever, whoever had done did the deal, and they wanted the $200 and some thousand back. Remember that shit? Y'all remember that? So I was like, wait a minute, is you really talking in codes? Are you really about to tell us like where this man, whoever, I promise y'all, I think it's Tory something, okay? Because it's on my paperwork, right? And my mind been busy all day other than this stuff, so it's still clogged up with a bunch of shit going on in my head till I go to sleep and wake up and it's fresh again, right? But I was like, ain't this I hope. I mean, what? I'm like, what the hell is you trying to say over here, Shabazz? Because he's dropping like dimes alone with his beef that's going on. It's like it's in the middle of everything. Now, I'm not trying to get you guys all confused and entangled in that stuff. That's just my wow crazy ass thoughts, because you can't be too careful out here. A whole bunch of people out here got the knife, on Mr. Kelly's back. So I'm just, I'm just saying, y'all. Now, here go my nose. My nose must be telling me, bitch, you talking too damn much. Hey, Trigger. Long time no see. How are you? How are you? So, let me do this because I want to get to my question. Carvario. Yes. But it was another name he dropped, Tory or something. And Shabazz dropped that name. But this is supposed to be the big head. Maybe it's Cavario, but that's one of the names. And that was responsible with, getting a whole bunch of money and stuff for making and the bootleg movies and DVDs and shit out here. So I don't know, y'all. But I mean, I don't know. More to come. But I believe you, though, Tony. I mean, especially when it's like I said 2 minutes. I'm thinking I'm coming over here for the names and shit. He said crooked ass attorneys. That's what he said. And after 2 minutes and 8 minutes, I'm tapping, y'all. Okay, what? Popcorn jumping off. Okay, who the crooked ass attorneys? Never got to it. Never got to it, y'all. Never got to it. Troy Reed. That's the name. Yes. That's the name that I wrote down. Thank you. I knew all y'all is watching what I'm watching. Hey, Capone. What's going on? Welcome to the chat. So, where do I want to start first with this one here? I know, Daz. I know. That's why I'm calling it wild thoughts. It's just wild thoughts. Now, back to Tony, because I don't go over there. It's only so much that you would want to contaminate your brain with. You understand? It's only so much. I've made up my mind about at least the 2 amigos that's still alive and pumping whatever commentary that they are choosing to pump over there. A phone call. I've been hearing that all day. Oh, did you listen to it? No, I did not listen to it. Here's one thing. I can't. First of all, did it give you a time, date, and stamp on it? Second of all, I don't understand how a person can be so eager to show you that, oh, my cousin called me, but it's not eager enough to show you, like, the proof with Bruce. Well, who is the daddy? There's just some discrepancies there. If you're going to prove this part that you want to be excited about and for the people to be excited about a phone call, then why not just lay out the whole blueprint of it? Step by step. This is how I got there. So you guys believe what you want to believe. At the end of the day, those people, when it comes to whatever relations that they claim to have stake in, they're irrelevant to me. And I'm going to always say it and stand on it. There's absolutely nothing that they can convince me or read about or talked about. I don't give a damn. If Mr. Kelly ain't said it, it ain't been said. I'm not taking nobody else's word or trusting nobody else's word when I'm sitting here watching a different group of people try to defend Mr. Kelly, when I am watching a different group of people that is doing way more than that over there. I can't swing it. Having a phone call still not gonna impress me about this type of leadership that they're trying to gain over there. So they can have at it. Have all the goddamn subscribers out here. It would make me know I ain't coming. I ain't going. I'm not subscribed. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not gonna fall for that. God darn, I'm just not gonna fall for it. Hey, high maintenance, what up, girl? I've been waiting on you. Tracy Burns, welcome to the chat. I've been waiting on you. You got the heck. Come on, give me my shits and giggles, girl. So it is 8:19. I want to get through this because I need someone to help me with the question that I have. I'm going to be jumping to my email because that's where I kind of loaded these videos up at. They're pretty short. I'm going to stop them. I'm going to run them. I'm going to stop them. I'm going to run them when I hear something that I want you guys to hear so that you guys can help me understand what the hell they're talking about, because there's some things I was like, what doesn't make sense. I hear that, somewhere that, never mind, I'm not gonna even go there. So hey, Capone, you say you feel the same way if it ain't coming from Robert or this. Yeah, I'm over that. Okay, I'm gonna be waiting on you, high maintenance. I'm so over it, Capone. There's nothing that they can say or do to be convincing of who they are at all, because Mr. Kelly situation came down from July, what was it? July 11th, somewhere, 2019. You ain't heard nothing about this, this shit here. And there is this question, like we're into 2021 and it's getting worse and worse and worse about the hoopling and the hollering about who I am and them. They fit, I don't know. I'm with you simply. I can't take them serious. So, first video up. Let me get into this one right here, you guys. Let me, if I can find it. What the heck? What the heck? Where the heck did it go? Hold on. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I can share my screen on this one. So give me a second. I want to share my screen. And y'all let me know right away if there's an echo, please. Please, 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 let me know. Hold on. I wonder if I could take this and move.
So, I
Okay.
think it could be
I don't think if
potentially
I
a
could
big piece of
share.
evidence, but remember, he wasn't charged in this indictment today with any child pornography counts.
You know what I've seen with other cases involving high-profile people or celebrities charged with these kind of serious crimes, they often take a long time to prosecute. They play out very slowly, and every step of the way, the defense does everything it can to slow the process down. Do you expect that to happen with what we are dealing with now with R. Kelly?
Yes, and rightfully so, because you have a situation where these charges were brought. He went out publicly, made a claim, a pitch to have more people come forward.
I can't get it to share, so hold on.
There's a quick indictment. So, we don't know how long this was brewing, but apparently, based on her own statements that she was disturbed by what she saw in that documentary, they got this all together in a month. That's actually quite disturbing, and I found his lawyers. I like the prospects of having to defend that, because this is going to argue this is a manufactured prosecution.
And is it possible that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 victims associated with the charges that came down today? Is it possible that prosecutors could still be working on this case behind the scenes, and over the coming weeks, months, or even years, they could introduce more victims as part of this case?
So the answer is that's a caution
caution you against the use of the word victim. Someone's not a victim until they're judged a victim in a court of law, right? So if somebody's convicted, he pleads guilty, then you consider the person is a victim. Before that, they're an alleged victim. They're what we call, the legal term is a complainant, somebody who initiates the criminal complaint. So, prosecutors love to use the word victim before they know if these people are actually victims. So until there's a judgment in court, they're not victims. They may be, victims. They may be.
Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to get the screen to show, because you guys really need to see this. So hold on. Let me go over here and see if I can get it over here. Hold on. Because I got some questions in this video. I have some questions in this damn video. I do.
Two victims, but we don't know that, because that's the process. And R. Kelly should be given the presumption of innocence, which obviously we discussed earlier. He's not going to be in the court of public opinion, and the DA is banking on the fact that they're going to get the presumption of innocence with his judge. There really is no reason for no bail warrant.
And how much do you think that docu-series and all of the allegations put forward in that series, and how many people were involved in that, and how much attention that got is going to affect this case moving forward?
It's going to affect it tremendously. The prosecutor, the chief prosecutor.
Okay, I know I got to take me off the screen.
For people to come forward, that she's so disturbed by.
Hold on.
And his lawyers, as I was saying, when we spoke earlier, I was saying, I'm
going to rewind this. I wanted you guys to see this, so let me know if you guys can see that, because you should be able to see it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kenneth Craig. Thanks for joining us. R&B singer R. Kelly is now in police custody. The 52-year-old performer turned himself into Chicago police Friday night. He is being charged with 10 counts of felony sexual abuse, each of which carries with it 3 to 7 years in prison. The judge overseeing the case issued a no bond warrant, meaning Kelly cannot leave jail until he pays the amount ordered by the judge. Kelly will likely be seen by a judge on Saturday. Chicago prosecutors convened a grand jury before issuing the indictment. Jurors heard testimony from 4 alleged victims, 3 of whom were between the ages of 13 and 17 at the time of the abuse. The new charges against Kelly came after a video surfaced reportedly showing Kelly having sex with a girl who was 14 years old at the time. I spoke with Manu Varghese, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, about what Kelly can expect.
I want to pause that because pretty much all of the videos, all of the information that I have been reading, except for the time that Kim Fox came out to make the calling about please come forward, right? Which I'm going to play, and I want you guys to listen to that as well. But with all of the callings, all of the reporting on this case of the 2019, the minimum age that they all call out is about the 14-year-old. The 14-year-old that everybody knows that ended up on this alleged DVD or VHS tape, and this girl, okay, you can see it, thank you, was 14. You don't hear anything about a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old or 8-year-old. You hear about the 14-year-old. The 14-year-old that comes about in this old 2008 trial, which we all know that the parents or whatever came forth and says, hey, not our child. Whoa, right? It gets a little bit deeper. Just sit tight and let's roll this video right here. But keep that age in mind, because I actually went back and I actually went through all of my freaking paperwork. I've been sitting down here for at least about 3 hours right now, you guys. And I point the page out to me where it clearly says something about a freaking 12-year-old in the freaking indictments. Point it out to me. What page is it on so that I can put my foot in my mouth? But out of all of this shit that I have been reading, you only been hearing about minors, or they will periodically throw out something about a 14-year-old. We all know what his charges were, and from 2002 to 2008. I'm going to play a few of those videos as well, right? And so that everybody can remember and see how Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly got in these particular charges placed on him, why they had to put particular charges on him to overreach an indictment. They overreached in an indictment, and one had to do with the limitations of a lot of things that went down in 2002 to 2008. But let's finish listening to this lady, because I like this lady who speaks with what her interpretation, her perception was about this now current case that happened in New York City.
At his bond hearing Saturday.
I think, the publicity, I think the judge may have gotten caught up in it. The prosecutor made the argument to make the
I
argument.
told you I'm going to be doing a lot of stopping and a lot of going, right? Here you have Greenberg here, right? And keep in mind, Mr. Kelly is somewhere around here. I don't know who half of these goddamn guys is, but right here is the guy that these people out on the YouTube streets recognizes him as Don the Con. This man right here in this white jacket, who is allegedly was called in, brought himself in, according to the guys and most of the people out here, as the mole up in the Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's camp. There's no way that Greenberg probably couldn't fix his mouth anymore to say that, oh, well, I don't know him and I don't know him. Well, they're right there together. So, to me, Don Russell is appearing to be standing here, guarding, helping whatever this security is or whatever that's going on. I just wanted to point that out, but that's not part of my goddamn story.
Significant resources and poses a risk of flight and maybe potentially danger to the community. Those arguments aren't going to hold water because he actually is throwing himself in, and he's previously stood trial.
Let's stop it right there. She says that these charges are probably not going to hold water. Now, this was before everybody started to see that there was some things going left in Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's case. Well, who is this girl? Well, why are they taking a stand? Well, who is this? And who is this? Oh, my God, this is not what they said. Oh, they're reaching. And he did this to you. He locked you in a van. He did this over here. Oh, you ate poop. You a scoop of poop. A whole bunch of goddamn allegations started hitting him out this that will have compounded the hearsay out here that will strike the humans into an uproar to fix their tongues to say OMG, with no receipts, no bag up about it. It was just what they said. And you guys have to keep in mind, if you go back to the previous indictment that first came down, and the first rule of thumb, the green thumb that they put out there on what the defense was not able to do, you have to pay attention to the word preclude, I think it was, in the word, where's my other phone? And the other word, and the other statutes of what they were using against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. And that was pretty much the 400s, 402, 406, 410. You got to go read those and kind of weigh those all into one picture as to why the defense could not run cross-examinations the way that they could have done to really help Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly win his case. They were restricted from the beginning. Those 400s of those statutes, or what they call them, is it just prohibited the defense. It really restricted them from doing their job effectively, in my opinion. Okay, so let's go on. I got to get my other phone out.
These arguments are not going to hold water. He'll eventually get out. The question is, how long is he going to sit in jail until this happens?
I just want to interrupt you because right now we have the first pictures of R. Kelly emerging from a black van in a blue jacket, facing a number of reporters and photographers in Chicago, live right now, turning himself in. After just a few hours ago, Kim Foxx, state attorney in Chicago, indicted the R&B singer on 10 different counts of aggravated sexual abuse. There you have it. Him walking into the precinct just hours after that indictment came down. What will you be watching for in this bond hearing tomorrow? And is this going to be a lengthy event, or is this going to be rather quick?
No, I think the lawyers are going to make it lengthy because they will want to make as strong an argument for bail as possible, which will be putting up multiple homes as collateral, turning in his passport, and ensuring that that he's going to come back to court. I don't think that's an issue. That's why the issuance of this bond is really surprising.
You know, sometimes these bond hearings, at least what I have seen with other cases, almost turn into a mini trial.
Stop this right
sorts
here again. Now, this is earlier on when Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly went to turn himself in, okay? Y'all got the... I'm hitting buttons over here, so mind them screens up because y'all know I'm a button hitting her over here now. And who do I see again up here as Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly is turning himself in? Not well, I maybe that's the cousin. I don't know. Maybe that's the cousin. Maybe that's the cousin. I don't know what the cousin really looks like. Maybe that's the Minty over there, and that's the Minty with the back turn. Maybe that's the Minty. All I know is that when I pull up all of this shit, I do not see no cousins and no Minties nowhere around this man. Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly turned himself in this day. July 12th, July 11th, the day that it came down. A couple of hours went by. They came and picked him up. He got out. He had to go back. Here he goes again, back up in there to turn himself in. Well, when all of the shit hit the fan. And who do I see once again right there with him? So it's as you can see, what I'm saying is that seeing him, Don Russell, here, it just makes it hard to understand or to believe that these people have considered this man as a Don the Con, because you just see him there. And in my opinion, if you mean to tell me that Mr. Kelly and the Minty or the cousin didn't call to tip Mr. Kelly off about, oh my God, you got Don Russell there as the crook and he's doing so and so? Somebody got to make that shit make sense to me. That's not part of my story out here, but since I clicked on it, I thought I'd make it part of my damn story. Why did not they alarmed him, Mr. Kelly, that I'm talking about the two main advocators out here? Why did they not alarm their cousin and their Minty that, hey, you shouldn't have hit Don Russell around you like that? So I couldn't understand that at all, y'all.
In a small way, if there is a big dispute over a bond, do you expect that to play out here, where prosecutors will lay out some sort of narrative?
Yes, prosecutors will do that. They will lay out a narrative, and they will paint this as a guy who's done all these terrible things. But the reality is that all this stuff happened, and R. Kelly knew this was coming down the road. So as soon as the state's attorney was asking for complainants, people to come forward, he should have realized that this was coming. Apparently there was a statement from him earlier today that he was shocked, or his lawyers were shocked. I don't know why they would be shocked, because this was definitely coming. They should have been prepared for this. And so the prosecutors will lay out a narrative that he presents a risk of flight, maybe potential danger. But those arguments really are going to hold water, because these are decades, close to a decade old. Some of these are more than a decade old accusations. So between that and the fact that he's previously stood trial, came to court, didn't run, it's not going to hold water, and he will get out. It's a question of when.
Now, this is Vanu Varghese, a former prosecutor, who made the phone call in on the CBS SN show, right? And in his opinion, he felt that this case wasn't going to hold water. He also told the freaking world, this is on a nationwide media source here, right? That, hey, this shit is decades old. So his defense team should have been well prepared, knowing that something like this they was getting this prepared to come back down the pipe on him on some decades ago allegations, meaning what was it, and I've been through some of the 2008, bits and pieces of what went on in that courtroom during that trial time, that period, right? And like if this prosecutor saw it, or have the guts and glory to come out to say, no, there's nothing here. There is nothing here, according to what the grand jury brought out to formulate this indictment that pushed Kim Fox out there to speak on it with the way that she did. There was nothing there. This shit is 10 decades ago. He had already been to court on this. Why is this here again? Why is this here again? That's what I hear, from Venu Varghese. He's a former prosecutor.
More information about what exactly happened here and what led up to these charges being filed and this indictment. Do you expect prosecutors to reveal much about the specifics tomorrow? You and I were talking earlier about the fact that, the state attorney came before the cameras. She read the charges, talked about dates, talked about 1, 2, 3, 4 different victims, did not take questions, but really did not elaborate at what kind of evidence they have or the circumstances surrounding these alleged sexual assaults.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have to. Remember, the indictment's just a piece of paper reflecting the vote of the jury, and so this is something that, to get an indictment, it doesn't require much. There's no option. There's no much. Prosecutors control the grand jury, and they secured an easy indictment. And at that point, then now it's the hard part, withstanding the scrutiny, in an adversarial system. So as far as tomorrow, they may reveal some more facts, but they really don't have to reveal much. The allegations are salacious. They are disturbing, and they'll rely on that, to keep him in as much as they can. But he doesn't pose a flight risk. These are old accusations, and he will get out. It's a question of whether he's going to spend the weekend in jail or not.
As you know, this comes a week after Michael Avenatti apparently provided new video evidence to Chicago prosecutors of the singer having sex with an underage girl. It's unclear whether or not these indictments are connected with that, or if this evidence or that video evidence was used as part of this indictment. But if in fact it is part of this indictment and makes its way to the trial, if in fact there is one, how big of a piece of evidence is that?
Well, it depends on how clear it is. Remember, the 2008 case was also based on a video. And ultimately, he prevailed because the prosecutors could not prove that it was him in the video. So it really is going to depend.
Everybody can remember, and I see you. I see your comment, Alan, saying that yes, this was around the bond hearing. But even during the bond hearing, like Venu was saying, that it only just took just a little bit, and they ran with this. After with all of the information, the salacious things that they were saying out here, and it was more than one of them. And there you go. His bond was denied because he was considered a flight risk. And Venu sitting here as a former prosecutor saying, but wait a minute. He actually was showing up to the court dates, and he didn't disappear when it came through to having his 2008 trial. He was there for every bit of that. But yes, then it ended up getting, I think didn't he get bond? And with the child support thing, then he got out after complying to several things that the courts needed him to comply to. And then, he comes back, and then now all of a sudden it's a no bond. And the no bond, I think, came down after you start hearing Michael Avenatti out here and screaming all of this, and the Kim Foxes, and then all of these medias was out here repeating these. There was minors from decades ago. Now let's continue so we could get through this here. But I know y'all saw right there that it looked like it might have been some tension between Greenberg and Don Russell. Don Russell looked at Greenberg like, but Greenberg never gave Don Russell any eye contact or whatever. He gets in there. I don't know who's driving this damn Sprinter, but it's here, near, or there.
His statement, and here's Avenatti is definitely the porn king, releases a statement saying that this is a VHS tape. Right then and there, it should give you some pause, because unless they converted it to digital, and then you have some issues between it for authenticities. For saying how does Avenatti get a hold of this? So. I think it could be potentially a big piece of
keep
evidence.
that question in mind, because Venu just asked, how did that Michael Avenatti get hold of that VHS? How did Michael Avenatti get hold of it? Because you're going to hear a different story later on down the road once I can get to these goddamn rest of it. I need my piece of paper, though, because I got to keep my own freaking notes over here, y'all. Cause I'm just saying. Let me write this down. How did he? Does anybody know? How did Michael Avenatti get hold of that freaking VHS? Because Venu says that it was a VHS. It was a VHS. A former prosecutor is here on the radio, a couple of years ago, stating that and putting validation on Michael Avenatti words. It was a VHS test. How the hell did you get a VHS tape? That's what this former prosecutor want to know. Yeah, he did get the bond in Chicago. It wasn't New York, right? He did get the bond. He did. It was the whole denied from, what was it, Ann Donnelly that sent down to Lunenburg, who decided that, no, we're going to hold you here. I don't know why that blue screen keep popping up, y'all, but I got to fix that.
Remember, he wasn't charged in this indictment today with any child pornography counts.
You know what I've seen with other cases involving high-profile people or
He wasn't charged in this indictment today with any child pornography charge. Did you guys hear that? Do you want me to replay it? This here is 2019, and the Venu is speaking about the current indictment that Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly just had a verdict on of guilty from a tainted juror. I'm gonna say that they was tainted. Let me rewind it so y'all can hear that again.
Celebrities charged with these kind of serious crimes, they often take a long time to prosecute. They play out very slowly, and every step of the way, the defense does everything it can to slow the process down.
I'll say that again.
For authenticities, for saying how does Avenatti get a hold of this? So, I think it could be potentially a big piece of evidence, but remember, he wasn't charged in this indictment today with any child pornography.
You know what I've seen with other cases involving high-profile people or celebrities charged with these kind of serious crimes, they often take a long time to prosecute. They play out very slowly, and every step of the way, the defense does everything it can to slow the process down. Do you expect that to happen with what we are dealing with now with R. Kelly?
Yes, and rightfully so, because you have a situation where these charges were brought. She went out publicly, made a claim, a pitch to have more people come forward, and then there's a quick indictment. So, we don't know how long this was brewing, but apparently, based on her own statements that she was disturbed by what she saw in that documentary, they got this all together in a month. That's actually quite disturbing, and I found his lawyers. I like the prospects of having to defend that. Because
I cannot understand how people would say that. I mean, I'm looking at this photo. I just don't, like I say, it's the image that what you try to believe is truth to it. And I'm sitting here watching 4 guys, and one of them being Don Russell. And you mean to tell me all these guys didn't have a problem with Don Russell being there? I can't grasp it, you guys. I really can't grasp that Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly is being escorted with 4 guys, and one of them being Don Russell, who they call Don the Con. I'm confused with that one. None of them were there to warn Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, oh, don't be around him. But they got so much to say about, this is this one is this one. Hey, Priscilla Boo.
We're going to argue this is a manufactured prosecution.
And is it possible that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 victims associated with the charges that came down today? Is it possible that prosecutors could still be working on this case behind the scenes, and over the coming weeks, months, or even years, they could introduce more victims as part of this case?
So the answer is that I caution you against the use of the word victim. Someone's not a victim until they're judged a victim in a court of law, right? So if somebody's convicted, he pleads guilty, then you say the person's a victim. Before that, they're an alleged victim. They are what we call, the legal term is a complainant.
And who started calling them a victim on national, in front of the media, for it to spread like a goddamn tsunami, like a coronavirus out here? Who started saying the victims? Who started saying that? Huh? When he just sitting here saying that you don't usually call them victims until they have been in the court of law and a case has been settled, but they had already premeditated of giving them a goddamn name. Let me hear it again.
Then you say the person's a victim. Before that, they're an alleged victim. They are what we call, the legal term is a complaint.
Complaint.
Somebody who initiates a criminal complaint. So, prosecutors love to use the word victim before they know if these people are actually victims. So until there's a judgment in court, they're not victims. They may be, victims. They may be real victims, but we don't know that, because that's the process. And R. Kelly should be given the presumption of innocence, which obviously we discussed earlier. He's not going to be in the court of public opinion, and the DA is banking on the fact that they're not going to get the presumption with his judge. There really is no reason for no bail warrant.
And how much do you think that docu-series and all of the allegations put forward in that series, and how many people were involved in that, and how much attention that got, is going to affect this case moving forward?
It's going to affect it tremendously. The chief prosecutor, called for people to come forward, that she's so disturbed by that. And then, if I'm his lawyers, as I was saying, when we spoke earlier, I was saying, I'm licking my lips, looking to use this to defend them. That this is a manufactured prosecution based on a documentary that's a one-sided documentary, and for people looking to get their
They called it a manufactured prosecution. Manufactured. They manufactured, doctored up this whole outrageous, just bullshit on this man. On one man.
All these people are going to have civil suits. You got to remember that. So they're coming forward, they're putting this out, they've been coached, and they're going to have civil suits. So they're going to go after him civilly. And what a criminal prosecution does, on the criminal side, you don't have to actually prove what happened. You go straight to damages.
Vanu Varghese, thank you for joining us.
Okay, hold on. I got to go back just for a second because I want to hear what he said about the silver suit.
After him civilly. And what a criminal prosecution does, on the criminal side, you don't have to actually prove what happened. You go straight to damages.
Vanu Varghese, thank you for joining us.
You don't have to prove what exactly happened. You don't have to prove criminal damages. Isn't that something? This is how they're getting away with pretty much all of these darn of different lawsuits that that some of them kind of have right now. So okay, so let me exit here, you guys. Let me get out of here. Hold on. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of. Okay, let me shrink that down. Okay, so let me get out of that. And we are back because I want to get into the next one. So, Okay, there you guys are. So I don't know why it would not let me share it, because I have to get this other screen up. So okay. So what did you guys think about that one? What are your thoughts on that? I haven't gotten to my question that I need an answer to just yet. So I haven't gotten into my question yet. So, but you said they're speaking on with him right now on the Reels TV. I'm gonna have to catch it later on, honey, and I definitely will do that. Now, let me get over here because I want to pull up this over here. And wait a minute, why is my screen over here? Oh, I know why. Because I brought the shit over here. Let's move this back over to the other screen. Ta-da. Wait a minute. Where you go? Okay, I got it. I'm going to open it up. Keep getting this blue thing lighting up on here. I'm going to work on it this weekend because it's something that I did. Okay, so okay, now I want to hold off on that one. So let's see, where's my searches at? Open up my email. Hey, Latanya, how are you? How are you? How are you? Okay, so after hearing that, and my reason for coming on, you guys, is because it's getting close for the Chicago to start its action, okay? So having a refresher about how Chicago even got started, it's important. It's important to kind of recap it. Let's see, where did it come from? How did it get there? So I'm going to take you guys here to this one first, okay? Let me get it open up, okay? Pay attention to this shit.
The docu-series has been intense. The hashtag Surviving R. Kelly tweeted over 900,000 times. Today, support the alleged victims.
Yeah, joining us now is Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox. Thank you for being here.
Ms. Fox, we have to ask you, how many calls have you gotten since your press conference yesterday?
Listen to
in less than
this.
24 hours, we've had numerous phone calls.
And what happens when somebody calls?
So someone calls, tells us, what information they have, whether they're a witness or whether there's something that has happened to them. We then put them in touch with someone from our office, either through victim witness or through our investigations unit.
Right. Now, you have seen the docu-series.
I have.
And what are your initial thoughts?
I watched the series as someone who has lived in Chicago my whole adult life, worked at the state's attorney's office during the original trial. So it wasn't that some of the allegations were new related to pre-2008, but watching and listening to the women who said that they were survivors of what happened, it was heartbreaking, it was sickening. And again, these are allegations, and that is why it's important that we recognize that this is not, we don't have an open investigation because of the docu-series, but if there were people who have been impacted or affected, we certainly believe that we should know about that and do an investigation if warranted.
Right.
Is there a statute of limitations here in terms of people calling you? From what years would this be active?
Yeah, so we haven't put a time limit on when people can call because the statute of limitation will vary based on when the incidents happen. Again, we just saw in that docuseries, so it was 6 hours, that may not be representative of everything.
Stop that, because she says that they haven't put they have not put a statute of limitation on what is going on right now. It depends, as you say, on the situation. And there is laws out there that has a statute of limitation pretty much on a lot of shit, on everything, especially sexual assault. There were statute of limitations on it. It's just so happened to be that the statute of limitations were broken down into how far, I guess, they can go after, the statute of limitation, meaning like you have this certain a period of time, but if you were of this age or turning this age between this birthday or this birthday, it may say, well, there's an additional 5 more years to it, or so forth and so on. Her answer right there, in my opinion, should have just been a simple yes or a no. A yes or a no. But by her saying that, no, I think that she implied a definitely wrong answer. But let me bag it up a little bit. She should have just said, this, because there is. There really is.
Happen. Again, we just saw in that docuseries, so it was 6 hours, that may not be representative of everything that we know. And so people have to call us first, and then we can go back and look and see what appropriate statute applies. But anywhere from 3 years to upwards of 25 years.
Yeah, and this is something that has really hit home for you because you are a survivor of sexual assault.
Yeah, someone had asked me a while ago about mentioning the fact that I was a sexual assault survivor when I was running for this office.
Wait, before she get into that, I'm going to rewind it again, because she clearly says that if a person calls in, that 1773 number that she has listed up on this screen here, right? She says that if you call in, then we would be going back to make sure that your case does not exceed the statute of limitation, right? But then pay attention to the dates or to the year or so of what she calls out on here, you guys. Just listen to this shit here.
I think it was really important to me then and especially now, because I understand what it feels like to not feel comfortable telling. I hear from a lot of people who are saying, well, where have they been? Why haven't they said anything? And the nature of abuse, I didn't talk about my abuse for years. When I was assaulted by 2 strangers, I didn't call the police. I was afraid. I thought it was my fault. Right. And so when I see what's happening, and I know that sexual assault and abuse is severely underreported because victims don't feel like they can come forward, I feel like it's my duty to say, as a prosecutor, I understand that. That doesn't diminish your credibility. That's the nature of this work. And so I am, a fierce advocate for making sure that we give space for that, but also that we do this right. These are allegations, and Mr. Kelly has the right to have these allegations fully vetted. He should not be assumed to be guilty without those allegations being vetted, but we cannot know what we have heard and not do our due diligence to see if something's there.
Right. Having that been said, if these alleged victims come forward, can they keep anonymity? How much of this is public? Yeah. And that's a big concern there.
That is the concern. I mean, if these cases were to go to trial, the Constitution affords a defendant the right to confront their accuser. So this isn't something that you can do with the behind closed doors. And I think what we saw in 2008 is that fear, right? We were talking about a young girl. What does it do for her life if 10 years later someone remembers you as the girl from the video, right? Or someone?
So she brought up the 2008 in her Q&A, in her interview with these people here, right? She brought up 2008, but she also followed that up with the justification of why she brought it up. Because what if these people see these young ladies 50 years from now? So that gave her a reason. That justified her for bringing out and pushing this 2008 chronicles of the 2008 trial. What if these women happen to go and walk down on the Miami Beach, and somebody points them out and say, hey, wasn't that you so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so? She used that as an example, justification. You know, I just sat here and blurted out the 2008 trial, 2 decades ago trial that went on that Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly was acquitted on. For whatever reason it happened, he was acquitted. But oops, oh my bad. I better goddamn say something behind that. Well, what if these ladies come out 50 years from now, you know, and people start insinuating or saying these things or saying this, and we never provided justice for these women. You know, this is just how they do, you guys. It's just how they do.
One remembers you as this person, and so that's the struggle. But we cannot do an effective prosecution or an investigation if people aren't willing to come forward, even with that loss of anonymity.
Can people come forward criminally if they've already accepted a civil resolution to this?
Now, that's what I wanted you guys to hear, and I want you to hear the other guy. He asked her, can a person who has already accepted a civil suit, award, whatever, the lawsuit, they got paid, whatever, can they come forward again now to do a more criminal charges? Can they do that? What do you guys think? Because it had me puzzled, and I could not find the answer to that. They did not go in depth for it, and I promise y'all, I've been over here just tapping. Okay, I have Googled it all kind of ways. I'm into the laws, but you have to understand, once you start in this researching, it's going to take you here, it's going to take you there, it's going to take you here, it's going to take you there. And I ain't had time to sit down no more than 8 hours to really find it, so that's why I come to the chat. Do you guys think that a person who has been awarded out of a previous lawsuit, receive money for whatever damages that they have claimed that has happened to them, should be able to come back and continue on with another civil criminal suit? I'm puzzled with that. I'm really puzzled with that. Let's bag it up. I want y'all to hear his question again.
Forward criminally if they've already accepted a civil resolution to this with an accuser or with an accused like R. Kelly?
No.
Because I'm going to stop it again, because she just responded no. She responded no. I'm going to keep rewinding it until you guys put a 1 in the chat to tell me that you heard Kim Fox says no. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't hearing anything. So let's bag it up again. Listen good. Let me make sure I got this volume up. Let me make sure I got it up, because I could have sworn she replied with a no.
Solution to this with an accuser or with an accused like R. Kelly?
No. The civil.
She says
like
no. She says no. Let's go back again.
A civil resolution to this with an accuser or with an accused like R. Kelly?
No. The civil lawsuits have nothing to do with the pursuit of criminal charges.
So if they've been paid by whoever it is,
that does not preclude the charges on criminal charges. The charges are levied on behalf of the people of the state of Illinois, and so the people of the state of Illinois have not received payment.
I'm going to stop that there, because she used the word preclude, right? If you've been reading indictments, you're looking at indictments, that word is throughout the freaking indictments. Preclude. Preclude is something that they put in with the overtaking of the 400s, the 402, the 40 this, the 40 that. So they'll put in black and white of what the defense cannot do. Not admissible. You will not be able to cross-examine these people on their religious aspect, on their previous sexual aspect of this thing. You can't question them on anything. If you go back to the indictments, you're gonna find that word preclude throughout that fucking goddamn indictment, and it really meant what it said. It did not allow R. Kelly's defense team to really do the work that they probably was planning on doing. Hey, Fire, that they probably was planning on doing. They were prohibited to do so. They were prohibited to ask the parents about, to bring the parents in. They were prohibited to talk about any kind of previous sexual gratification that they may have had in previous relationships, or they was prohibited to talk about any type of religion. And that is that preclude. That is really how Demetrius really got the fuck off with the Fifth Amendment, because they were not able to cross-examine him in such a way. Demetrius actually came out talking about his book coming from jail, but what did he do? He aligned that with his religious part of his life. And if you go back to the 400s and read the 402, and the 401s, the 406, the 410, and you'll see why they could not do what they needed to do in cross-examination to Demetrius. The law had protected him by putting that precluded word all throughout that indictment on him. You will not be able to do this to him. So they secured him on that stand, and it allowed him to be able to have that room in there where we'll give you immunity, but we gonna have to change this up. We're gonna use this based off of your goddamn religions of how you wrote it. And when he wrote the book, he started talking about all this religious type of stuff. It protected him. It literally protected him from being cross-examined and really hammered in that goddamn courtroom. Let's continue, because I could have sworn I heard this woman says no. I'm going to back it up one more time, and then I'm going to let it roll, because we want to get to this other man. Let me see. Let's go back here. One more time, y'all.
People come forward criminally if they've already accepted a civil resolution to this with an accuser or with an accused like R. Kelly?
No. The civil lawsuits have nothing to do with the pursuit of criminal charges.
So if they've been paid by whoever it is.
That does not preclude the charges on criminal charges. The charges are levied on behalf of the people of the state of Illinois, and so the people of the state of Illinois have not received payment if someone has a settlement. That is taken up in the criminal court.
Right. So with R. Kelly being acquitted in 2008,
that
do you think it's going to be tough for people?
Stop this, because I'm going to rewind it again. She said that it is levied based off the people that was from Illinois. How many of them from Illinois that you guys know off the top of your head that claim that they ended up with some type of monetary damages, a lawsuit? Susan Logan. How many of those girls actually got hold to this alleged dineros? Mono. Who? How many? Because it's obvious that Kim Fox wasn't aware of it when she made the statement. Because there were girls that had some type of payments. Something was going on down there in Susie Logan's office. I don't know what, but whatever. But you had a few of them. The JP from Illinois. But she says no. Let me let you go. I'm going to let you guys hear it. Hear what she has to say, though. Let me hear what she says. So that does not apply. Does not apply. Doesn't matter. It was preclude. It doesn't matter. That's what she's saying. Well, I don't give a shit. They got paid or whatever. We open up the door to allow them to bring this old shit back so that we can take it further to do what it is that we set out to do to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. Let's rewind it again.
Half of the people of the state of Illinois. And so the people of the state of Illinois have not received payment if someone has a settlement. That is taken up in the criminal court.
Right. So with R. Kelly being acquitted in 2008, do you think it's
the people that has not received an award, I'm going to say award, monies, they were the ones that were able to take it up outside of Illinois? What she says. Which way is it, Kim Fox? Which way is it? I'm just asking. I mean, here what
criminal charges.
So if they've been paid by whoever it is.
That does not preclude the charges on criminal charges. The charges are levied on behalf of the people of the state of Illinois, and so the people of the state of Illinois have not received payment if someone has a settlement. That is taken up in the criminal court.
Right. So with R. Kelly being acquitted in 2008, do you think it's going to be tough for people to come forward now, knowing that he's already been acquitted once, and we watched that very public trial? Do you think people are truly going to come forward now?
You know, I think, again, he had his day in court. He was acquitted, and we saw what happened with that. I think the disheartening part of the docuseries was post-2008. And I think we're at a time now when we're talking about sexual violence, when we're talking about what it means and the impact that it has on survivors in this era of Me Too, where there is survivors are coming out together. It's very isolating. When something like this happens to you, you feel like you're in it alone. And I think the level of support that survivors have seen, we've talked a lot about the support that Mr. Kelly has received and others, but there are survivors who are being supported. So I have a level of optimism that people will feel as though they will have the opportunity to be heard and their dignity intact.
Right, you talk about the supporters of R. Kelly, and there's been the online report saying that his music is streaming incredibly high right now. And radio stations still playing his music. Are you surprised by that? Are you offended by that?
I'm not surprised. I have stepped in the name of love.
We all have.
I'm looking at you, Val. I know that,
every wedding, graduation, birthday party, it's an anthem in the community.
It's an anthem, and I think it is really difficult. There's a real cognitive dissonance of listening to music that is so part of the fabric of who you are and the culture, and separating from the man. And so I'll hear, well, what about Elvis, or what about Jerry Lee Lewis, and what about, you know, art? Well, how do you separate the music from the art? And so I understand that dissonance. You know, I grew up listening to 90s rap, and there were lyrics that were in there that I would sing and rap, that now in my more tender age, say, I can't believe I was listening to that. And so I make no judgment of people who are trying to figure out where they are with the art. That's hard, and I don't pretend that it hasn't been hard for me as well.
So what are the next steps for you in the state's attorney's office? Because you said you got numerous calls last night. Like, realistically, once you've done the investigation, how soon could we see something happen?
You know, I don't know, Val. Again, it depends on the nature of the information that we get. We have to vet for its credibility. What we will not do is file charges that are not appropriate in the name of doing something for appeasing a public who wants something. And so, you know, that's not how our system works. We have to be fair. And so it's hard to say. What I can say is our sex assault and domestic violence unit is one of the top units in the country. We have dedicated men and women who decided to work in this area to give their expertise to making sure that these cases are handled fairly. And so I don't know what the outcome will be. What I can assure is that we have the best and brightest men and women of the Cook County State's Attorney's Office working on it.
Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Fox.
Thank you.
All right. Definitely want to thank Ms. Fox for being here. Again, the number to call if you have any information, 773-674-6492.
Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Wasn't me. It's YouTube. Hold on. Let's give it a second. See if they'll bring us back. Yeah, we're off. We're offline. Stand by. Stand by. Let's see if they'll bring it back. Okay, can y'all hear me? Because they still got my stream frozen, but I can see it on the... I struck a nerve. I didn't mean to, girl. I did not mean to. Well, let me get into this little read right here before I get into the last video, because they might strike that one. They might get that one too. I didn't realize putting out just, information. Like, seriously? Like, seriously, I'm not coming at nobody. I'm not doing none of that. I just thought I'll share with, I just had a question. I had a question about the silver suit things, and thinking, well, wait a minute, if these things were done, decades ago, then, is it possible? My question is, you can hear? Okay. So, but my question was, if these people have received any type of money for whatever the case that they would have filed on these silver suits, which we know there are previous females in Illinois that is, planning on coming back or whatever. Is it possible that they can also have this case in the criminal aspect of it, like in New York, since they were already issued some type of lawsuit? So that's all I had just, wanted to know. Hopefully somebody can get me an answer out there, because it just wasn't clear to me when Kim Fox spoke on it. That's all I'm saying. I see y'all from my other screen. I'm just wondering why is it still frozen on this one? It's still frozen. So I'm going to see if I can continue, because I want to get into this article about the black panties of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. It was just something that I came across, and I wanted to share it with you guys, but I have to find it now because it literally shut all my shit down. It shut me down, y'all. So give me a second. Come on. There we go. I think I'm back. Let me see. I think we back, y'all. We back. We back. We back. Let me see if it's catching up. I think we back. You say it depends on what's in the paperwork. Okay. I just had to ask. Now let me see if I can go back over here and find this one article. It would have been a fun read. Let me see. I'm gonna get out of that. Oh no, not that. Not that. Not that. Stop. Okay. Where in the heck did I go? Where'd it go? Don't you just hate this shit? And I know I did not. It wouldn't let me share it. So I may have to just call it the end on that one, because when it went down, it erased everything up that I had up. Hold on, y'all. Let me find it. Shouldn't be that damn hard. No, I don't want no rewards. Oh, I can't find the shit. I can't find it right now, so I'm gonna have to bring it back some other time. Even in my search history, it's not coming up because of this shit. Because it shut me down. Oh no, I got it. There we go. Now, I remember I think it was Azrael commentary and how she was talking about her black panties and R. Kelly gave her black panties. Do you guys remember that, right? So, and I come across this article, right? And I actually didn't read the article, but I'm going to show you guys the article, right? And I was like, here I am thinking that she was just the special one, right? The special one. Now, this article, come on, let me get this back over here. Okay, this article here, you guys, was printed by Global Grind. Let me get it up on the screens. You say, do we have trolls by those? I don't, you say by the bottles. Who is a little cum guzzler? I don't know who that is. Whatever. I can easily ignore stuff, too, so... And she goes by the name of, this is the night, received black panties from R. Kelly. And this is her story through the Global Grind, the world according to hip-hop. She is a journalist, right? Goes by the name of, what is her name? Tammy... Brittany Lewis, right? But I wanted to share her story with you guys, her experiences of as a journalist and being invited out to actually hear samples of Mr. Kelly's Black Panties album when it first came out. Of course, it's said that he likes to likes to invite people out for listening, hearing parties, sampling some music, and get their opinions on some things. So let me share the screen with you guys. Let's read her story. Then I'm gonna get ready to take my behind upstairs and give Coda Bear some loving today. I miss my baby. Go see what she doing, get her ready for school. I'm going to wait for the screen to come up. You guys let me know if you can see it. Let's read her article. Because, I was like, oh, well, there's a lot more people out here that had that wonderful experience with Mr. Kelly, You say you need to apologize. Mods, do we have a troll? I don't know. I don't even see. Let me see if I got some mods in here. I don't even know if I still have mods in here. It must be another show or something. Galatians was still here. If not, you guys, I can mod. I got it, but I can watch the chat, see what's going on. Coming in as a newbie. Malated, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. I don't know where my mod's at, so I'd like to welcome you to the chat, and thanks for joining us, and I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate that you're here. So let's read this article because it's up now. This one here is printed by Global Grind. Was it Global Grind? This one here, I think she did this on November 15th, 2013, right around the time before Mr. Kelly had his tour for the Black Panties concert as well. He invited different people in to come and sample his album of the Black Panties album, okay? So she says here, it was 7:45, and I was late. Being late to listening sessions was a bad habit. I picked up over the years of standing around and waiting for artists to appear at a decent hour. So when I arrived at New York City Platinum Studio, so you had to start all over? I saw your name, so I kind of figured that was that. I saw your name. So she says, I wasn't worried about missing anything important. Hell, I figured I may even be one of the few who arrived, even though I was 45 minutes late. I rang the intercom buzzer in the foyer of the building and waited patiently until the voice of a young woman blared over the muffled sound system. Platinum Studio, she says. Huh? Yeah, I'm here for R. Kelly listening session. I replied hesitantly. Well, what's your name? She quickly responded. Brittany Lewis. I replied, Brittany Willis. So I apologize. She goes by the name of Brittany Willis. She questioned, no, Brittany Lewis. Lewis. I spelled out. She quickly buzzed me into the older building, and I walked over to the elevator. I pressed up the button and waited for the elevator doors to open, but not before fixing my hair and checking my lipstick in the reflection of a glass enclosure. As I pimped myself, a tall, burly man with glasses mysteriously appeared next to me. He startled me briefly, but smirked as I peered up at him in slight embarrassment. Not enthused by him interrupting my beauty moment, I gave him a once-over, noticing he was sporting a sweatshirt that read, Winners, Monsters of Chicago. It must be in R. Kelly's camp. The elevator bell rang and the doors glided open slowly. The man waved his arm chivalrously, letting me step into the lift before filling in closely behind me. I pushed the number 5 and leaned back on the elevator wall, jaded by New York City's public code of conduct. I was tempted to ignore his presence, but an inner voice encouraged me to return my friendly suburban upbringing and play nice. Oh, there goes my nose, y'all. I hope we're not stuck in here. The elevator's not moving, I said. I only uttered 11 words, but I felt awkwardly nervous. I really hate talking to strangers, and he was no exception. It should be moving shortly, he warmly replied. After a brief 20 seconds, the elevator still hadn't moved. Well, if we're stuck in here, at least I'm stuck in here with you, he joked, playing up R. Kelly's hip-hop parade, Trapped in the Closet. I battled his joke with my own. Yeah, if we're stuck, let's pen a new musical series called Trapped in the Elevator. What publications do you work for? He inquired. I humbly mentioned Russell Simmons and Global Grind, and he nodded in acceptance. During our exchange, I had noticed the elevator was in motion. The doors opened on the 5th floor, and we were greeted by a young receptionist. She double-checked my name, and the man I had a moment with in the elevator, well, he disappeared into the dark studio hallway. The receptionist pointed me into the direction of the studio, where 10 other music journalists sat patiently. Some of the faces I recognized from previous industry events. Some were just as foreign as the stranger I encountered in the elevator minutes before. I sat down in the openly seat left and disrobed. The studio was warm, really warm. No one spoke until my elevator buddy walked into the room and asked if everyone was excited to hear R. Kelly's new album, Black Panties. And to his surprise, the group murmured unenthusiastically. That's not to say everyone in attendance wasn't excited to hear R. Kelly's latest offering. It's just a symbol of being pretentious industry folk, signaling to the engineer to cue up some music. R. Kelly greatest hits, of course. My elevator buddy, well, he announced that there were booze and snacks on the other side of the studio. So minutes later, we were awkwardly standing around making small talk with our colleagues in literally competition, while snacking on cheese and crackers. Everyone seemed to be waiting for something. Besides the arrival of R. Kelly, obviously, a few ladies made it known that they desired the libations resting in the corner of the room. No one touched the 10 bottles of champagne until a young gentleman took it upon himself to get the party started. After pouring himself a glass, he spun around and offered up the bubbly, grabbing up a cup next to him. I extended my arm, signaling I needed a spirit. I filled up my champagne flute and about 3 other glasses before one of the people at the label informed us that they were saving the alcohol until R. Kelly arrived. Oops. Robert is coming up now. Can everyone please head back into the other room, she says, guzzling down the little bit of the champagne resting at the bottom of my flute. I scurried to the receptacle and dumped the evidence of my boozy indiscretions. We filled the back into the studio, but this time the space was amazed with more bodies. Hello, protect your energy. Since my initial arrival, upwards of a half a dozen people entering the closed quarters, making the studio congested. Robert is going to like this. He loves when the studio is packed. A labeled person gushed. Minutes later, I could hear buzzing in the hallway, and then he appeared. Emerging from the shadow of his manager and my elevator buddy, R. Kelly floated into the room with an enormous smile plastered on his ageless face, a cup of dark liquor in his right hand, and what appeared to be a cohiba, I don't know, cigars, in his left. The room erupted in applause. He was finally there. The man we've all been waiting for, Robert Kelly. Where are y'all drinks? Why y'all not turned up, he asked. Well, everyone looked around at each other, knowing that if it were up to us, we would have been drunk an hour ago. But everyone kept their mouth shut, not mentioning we were instructed not to engage in two-spirit festivals until he arrived. It's packed in here. I like this, he raved. Can someone please get these people some drinks? Dressed in tight-fitting black leather pants, a cotton black shirt accentuated by a gaudy gold rope chain that draped perfectly between the collar of his black leather jacket. R. Kelly couldn't even stop smiling. He looked around the room and he introduced himself like everyone didn't even know who he was. Before introducing his manager, the man who I had bonded with in the elevator. Well, his name was DJ Wayne Williams, R. Kelly's longtime friend and DJ, who had been by his side since his days of public announcement 22 years ago. Oh, well, it makes sense now. She was on the elevator with DJ Wayne Williams and didn't even know it, even though she did imply that she's a journalist, and she did recognize a few other journalists that she had seen in other different events other than Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's listening party here. So she says that before he started the session, R. Kelly wanted to share a personal story. A story about his journey, which started 2 decades earlier. He was a street performer. He was a street performer who at the time was penning inspirational tracks comparable to his cross-country hits like I Believe I Can Fly and I'm Your Angel. But he wanted more. He wanted the fame. He wanted the women. He wanted the glory. I told Wayne I wanted women screaming and chasing after me in the mall, he recounted. DJ Wayne Williams nodded and we all laughed. I wanted to have girls chasing me out the mall like they used to chase guy. He added. The women came, and they came fast after collaborating with Public Announcement on Born into the 90s. R. Kelly and his collective release, She's Got That Vibe. And he returned to the mall. Still nothing. No one recognized him just yet. But by the time Honey Love was in the radio rotation, the 25-year-old crooner became the heartthrob that he strived to be. Oh, they chased me all the way out the mall, he laughed. He admitted that he called his mother and told her the news. In his mind, he had made it. Women were now chasing him in and out of the mall, caught up on his own clouded thoughts of nostalgia. I'm not sure. I'll leave it at that. R. Kelly snapped back to the present. Well, it's showtime. Have any of you heard any songs from my album, he asked. Everyone hesitated and I muted. Besides the singles, no. He seemed relieved, and he mentioned how he hated when his new material presented to the world without his approval or him being the presenter. He made that admission with a clever jab, and we all laughed again. Who knew R. Kelly was so funny? I'm taking it back to 12 play, he stated. Oh, this is going to be good. Seconds before he pressed play, R. Kelly explained the first track would hear was titled Leg Shaking. The bass blared through the speakers and the show began. It all began with a head and a nod and a hand wave, but he couldn't contain himself. He was sharing his most prized possession, his music. His pace back and forth, singing the words at half voice in the quaint studio space available for his use. We watched him and he watched us. We couldn't see his eyes, but I noticed that he was studying our faces for a reaction. He was seeking our approval. The first track ended and he relit the cigar before introducing Cookies. Cookies is a sexual, Cookies is erotic. Cookies is about, well, can you guess? Cookies came to a close and R. Kelly took a minute to apologize to the room for putting on a show. But we didn't mind. He explained that he only knows how to express his music through exhibition. Voices of reassurance came from opposing corners in the room, and R. Kelly continued his presentation, but not before he was interrupted by a young lady sitting to my left. "Mr. Kelly," she says, unveiling a snack-sized pack of mini Oreos out of her bag. She gave the 6-foot legend the royal blue package, and the room burst into laughter. Mr. Kelly played another track titled "Throwing Money," but decided to take a brief intermission for a spoken word performance. He called it Poetic Sex. But I missed the title of the poem because those drinks he asked for were now in the front of my face. One by one, everyone passed the small cups down the line and people watching him intently. Vodka and cranberry? I'm a Hennessy girl myself, but I'll never turn down a free drink. We sipped and he spoke. Stumbling over the first few lines, he paused to regain his thoughts. Tie you up with my lyrics. Now you're abducted by this shit, he riddled. Yeah, we were abducted. The room was tied up in his charisma, his passion, and his spirit. He ended his poem masterfully, and the room erupted in applause. He confessed that he didn't even know if he would be able to remember the entire piece, but he pulled it through. So the next song he unveiled was titled "Marry the Pussy," and he seemed extra excited to share this track. "Marry the Pussy" it roared through the studio, and Mr. Kelly performed, spinning around. He got down on a bended knee. He simulated a proposal. Yes, a proposal to the pussy. Well, he was enthralled with this pussy that wasn't present in the room, but present in his mind. It's so much. He's ready to live happily ever after with the most powerful mechanism on the planet, the gateway to life and the gateway to his heart, pussy. 5 more songs would begin and end, 2 of which feature appearances by Kelly Rowland and Young Jeezy. R. Kelly took another brief intermission to explain the meaning behind his next track. A year ago, R. Kelly was performing at a huge show when he sustained an injury to his vocal cords, and he pulled through this song, staggering backstage before collapsing. The doctors performed emergency surgery and banned him from vocal activity for 2 weeks. That was around the time, I believe, that he had said he was explaining to Gail why he was wearing, the scarves and stuff, and why was his apartment, his condo, was so hot up in there, and what was the Christmas tree for. And, he was talking about how he had to keep it warm because he had just went through surgery. So, hi, sweetie. So it goes on. He says that he pulled the song and staggering backstage before collapsing. And the doctors performed emergency surgery and banned him from vocal activity for 2 weeks, ignoring their recommendation. The stubborn singer returned back to the studio. Before I continue, I just got to ask the question. Does anybody recall any of the females speaking about how they helped him go through the healing process of his surgery? I can't remember. So I'm just asking to see if there was one out there that was by his side through this surgery that he went through. After reports deemed his career over, R. Kelly penned one of the most emotional songs on the album, "Shut Up." He pressed play and denounced all of his doubters, the reports, the hate, and the negativity. Robert needed everyone to shut up. In the middle of his performance, the man hiding behind his gold-trimmed sunshades and a black snapback ripped off his disguise and exposed himself to the room. It was like he was naked. He needed us to see him vulnerable. And he was. You could see the pain in his eyes through all the trials and tribulations he's overcame the past 20 years. He wanted to mute the habitual skepticism. The music stopped and he returned to his camouflage state. It was over. That was all he was sharing, deciding to save a few tracks to be heard after purchase. His publicist announced photos of Mr. Kelly would be available after he sat down with NBC's The Grill and quickly ushered the singer to the next room. She returned to the room and asked, "So, what did you all think? Be honest." Everyone agreed that the album was great. I did hear a young gentleman later mumble that he heard influences from newer artists, but others disagreed, dismissing his claim. Soon, a half an hour flew by. The griot and the three young women representing Vibe quickly interviewed Mr. Kelly. I patiently stood in the hunter green hallway waiting for my opportunity to arise when three men dressed in all black shuffled by me. "Oh shit, that's Scarface!" Scarface was at this goddamn listening party of the Black Panties. Dig that shit, y'all. Nobody mentioned nothing about that. I was like, what? Scarface? Okay. Scarface, he waltzed into the room where the griot was about to break down their equipment and dab up his longtime friend. This is epic. How lucky am I? I pushed my way past Scarface's modest entourage. I wanted to hear the two legends engaged in conversation. I was caught up in the moment. R. Kelly made his way over to the grand piano located in the center of the room. Tings of ivory filled the room, and it was happening. We were witnessing geniuses. Surrounded by the three photographers hired to cover the night. I don't know what that screen is, keep popping up. I'ma fix it. R. Kelly immaculately pounded on the white keys and murmured sweet melodies. There were approximately 12 of us in the room, and we watched in silence. He couldn't see our adoration because we were behind him. But as I scanned the room, everyone glared at him in awe. R. Kelly's having a moment, and he's having it for us. He paused on the keys briefly before banging out a few chords and referencing everyone behind him. We laughed again for the umpteenth time that night. This man is hilarious. Impressed by his art, Scarface, he made it clear that he wanted to collaborate with R. Kelly before the week was out. Mr. Kelly was due to leave on Friday, so there were only 72 hours for magic to be made. R. Kelly promised to hit him up before he had left New York City, and their managers exchanged contacts. Just as quickly as Scarface appeared, he disappeared out the studio with the same swiftness. I thought I was up next, but outlets that were scheduled for a lengthy sit-down were promised a picture and 2 questions. R. Kelly answered every probing question, and I was getting nervous, so I walked over to the table covered with champagne and bottles and poured myself a glass of wine to ease my extreme anxiety. "Robert, this is Brittany from Global Grind," I heard. "Oh shit, that's me." I walked over to Mr. Kelly singing the lyrics from his latest collaboration with Lady Gaga, "Do What You Want." He laughed and finished my sentence singing, what you want with my body." Once again, he relit his cigar and asked me how I was doing. I returned the question and he answered, great. My videographer cued we were rolling when a member of his entourage answered a phone call. Come on, man, blurted Mr. Kelly. Who is that? I asked, is that your homie? Nah, that's my uncle. He replied, what's your uncle's name? Junebug. He laughed. Wait, I have a cousin named Junebug, I echoed. Well, we all do. And he joked. The interview went off without a hitch, so he reminisced about his childhood, which included skateboarding before it was trendy, singing in Gladys Knight tunes with his mother, kind of the same stuff that's in the book, you know? He also dishes out about Black Panties, the album, and explained why Mary the Pussy was his personal favorite track. Curious about his taste, I asked him about his affinity for black panties, and he gushed, detailing the beauty in a woman's body, and it cited a pair of black panties that was thrown at him during a show as inspiration, and he has told that story once before. Maybe twice before. I've heard it twice before, right? I heard him tell that story. So, and surprisingly, R. Kelly admitted that he's not really a fan of thong underwear. Instead, Mr. Kelly likes for a woman to leave a little something for his imagination run wild. But they call him the P word. They says that he does all of this, and he's doing all of this, and he's doing all of it, and here in his own words, hell, he's not even a big old fan of some goddamn thongs. I don't know, y'all. Let's keep it moving. We took a few pictures. 17 minutes later, we wrapped up the interview, and we were done. His last interview for the night had concluded, and he seemed relieved. We took a few pictures, and I showed him a 3-year-old video of me and my friends jamming out to She's Got That Vibe. He smiled. His publicist walked over to me and thanked me for my patience. I truly didn't mind. I would have waited until the wee hours of the morning to speak to a man of his magnitude. Signaling for Mr. Kelly to exit, his manager ushered him toward the door, and he turned around and thanked everyone. And just like that, he was gone. Shortly after the studio door slammed shut, his publicist handed me a perfectly square box and urged me to open it. I opened the black box that read Black Panties with his name underneath. I peered into the box and noticed a cylinder-shaped candle resting under loads of tissue paper. I like this part. Oh, a candle. How nice, I said. No, keep looking. There's something special inside. Wondering how many people in the chat is thinking that, oh my Lord, here we go, about to go through the telephone number stuff again, aren't we? Well, let's see what happened. I unwrapped it, meticulously packaged pink tissue paper, and unrolled a dainty black lace thong. I laughed, amused by the clever idea. Black panties? How cute. That night I received black panties. To be honest, all the women received black panties that night. Not phone numbers. Nah. Just a gift. A token of his appreciation for coming out to listen to his Black Panties listening party. Yeah. I really enjoyed this story, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. She says that black panties, we receive black panties sonically, and we receive black panties tangibly. Brittany Lewis is the music editor at Global Grind and a Howard University alumni. Brittany considers herself seasoned on all pop culture is the matters. Follow her on her Twitter at buttercup_B. And I have to give some shout out to her. I enjoyed her story. I enjoyed like where she was taking people imaginations because of all of the things that we have been hearing out here, right? I'm pretty sure most of you guys were sitting in this chat room thinking, oh my God, here we go again. Here goes another one. What happened to her? Did he give her the number? Oh my God, who in the camp? You hear about the guy in the camp, ended up being DJ Wayne Williams, and all of that stuff. And now this actually ended up being a positive story based on Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, personality, his charisma, how tangible he is, how respectful he is of people. He was this was created back in 2013. Now, can't remember the time and the date stamp where Azarelle came out and he gave the black panties to me. Only me. I was the special one. And after reading this article, no. This is something that this man's charisma, that his personality allows him to do. This is his character of how he chooses to treat women or people that is around him, if that's the case. Listening parties, have fun, chill. He's got champagne, everything laid out. Nobody's paying for anything, and they're ready to go. And with her mentioning the DJ Wayne Williams, you have to know now. I'm thinking 2013. Now wait a minute here now. Because I could take you back to some dates where people were saying that they was around this and he was doing that and he was doing. But here we are. He had DJ Wayne Williams with him as his manager at the time here. How, Alma? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. And that's why I can respect when he says on the Gayle King shows. I mean, he tells Gayle King, you better be careful. You better be careful, Gayle King, because there is some people out here that do know the truth. And Mr. Kelly has always stuck to his truth. And that is one reason why he refused to say that I did anything, because he says he didn't do those things. Now, we have to understand, well, not you guys. I had to make myself understand why did these people come at him so hard and how did they do this. But when you look back at it, and you started hearing Michael Avenatti and Jim Derogatis and Kim Fox coming out and all of this compounding allegations towards him, yes, it will make you believe what they intended for you to believe out here. It really would have. And then, of course, the Lifetime movie, So, yeah, it just became bizarre. As far as the 2019 trial, the indictment that came down, I just don't see it, you guys. Everything, like I said, that they pushed out here on this man pretty much came from his 2008 trial. I can't even play anymore because I think that they might shut me down. Let me see if I could get away with this one right here. Let me see. I don't know. I'm going to get rid of that. They might get me. And then I'm going to get my butt up out of here. I have two. Let me see if I can run this one right quick. Nope. Ain't going to let me. Better not do that one. No. No. We won't do it. Forget it. Now, this was the 2008 trial. Let me just show you guys a little smidget of this here and I know most of you guys have seen it, but because we need to bring it back out, because he does have 2008, the Chicago situation that he has to deal with. So let me do this. Let me rewind it, see if it's up on the screen. Nope. Is that cousin Levi going to court with him? Maybe if he put the shades on. You said put the disclaimer up. Girl, I do not own the rights to this channel. I don't know where my mom said. I don't. They usually have it copied and put up, but I don't know. They somewhere else or they're busy.
I'll have a statement on Robert's behalf. Now, Robert has said all along that he believed in our system and he believes in God, and that when all the facts came out in court, he would be cleared of these terrible charges. He did not expect that it would take 6.5 years. This has been a terrible ordeal for him and his family, and at this point, all he wants to do is move forward and try to put it behind him.
A fourth generation tape that was filled with all sorts of video noise where you couldn't identify, in my opinion, anybody. That's my view of the tape.
There's an idea out there that because he sat in that courtroom stoic and he didn't show emotion and he didn't show any kind of concern, and I heard that said about him, sitting next to him, because I did every day, if you recall, I sat next to him every day of this trial and listened to him and talked to him. He was a very caring and concerned person. He just knew that every move that he made was going to be criticized, every move that he made was going to be watched, every move that he made was going to certainly come out in a newspaper or on television, and so his way of dealing with it was to be stoic.
That happened in the 2008 trial. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because right now you got to start bringing out, more attention of how the 2008 trial went down. So you asked about Rashonda on the last show that we just had last night. You literally did. You literally did. I don't have a comment pretty much on it. I thought I had my other one on here. Let me see. Hold on. Nope, I don't have it. Okay. So, you said that's his Uncle Junebug? Yeah, the one that was walking into the one that we just played, right? I kind of figured that. I was just making fun. You just never see out of Mr. Kelly's situation from 2002, with there being recess because of a situation through the 2002 through the 2008 hearing, right? That's give or take 6 years that trial went on. You never see the people that is doing the hooping and hollering out here. You never see them nowhere around during his trial and error time in those years. It's not until here, like now, the 2018. But the video that I previously showed you, where you would see Don Russell and the other guys that's helping secure Mr. Kelly and standing by Greenberg, you see them there, and you still don't see these guys anywhere around this man. And I can't understand, like, if you're saying that, oh, I love this guy, I rock with this guy, I do this for this guy, and you can't find them nowhere in nothing, that's just weird. It's just weird to me. I'm like, well, what the hell was they hiding for? What the hell are they hiding for? I don't know. So, You say hi at 2:22. People can't even. I know, Sheila, but I think that it would be important to kind of go over it because, like I said, as I was listening to these, and then I came home and I'm trying to ramble through my paperwork and stuff like that. Then I'm on the screen. And I was like, God, I need an answer to this question. You know, can you receive these lawsuit, this money from these things, and still be involved in a criminal hearing? Why do you need to be heard again when you already then sought some type of award or payment from this man? So it's like, go away, go away. You say no disrespect. I notice the majority of you bloggers are regurgitating gossip, watered down information that's not. You don't think that what I'm doing is relevant to which case, prosecutorial? Which case? What do you mean? Don't block her out, Priscilla. You can let that person stay so that I can understand exactly what do you mean. It's just commentary. I didn't think that it really matters. There's nothing that a blogger or a YouTube creator can actually do to get Mr. Kelly out, regardless of what you talk about. That's up for his attorneys to do so. So one would think, prosecutor, that being just a free thinker, a YouTube creator, or a blogger, that you can pretty much pull up anything and talk about whatever. I'm not the one, and a lot of these people out here are not the people that is presiding on his case. We're not. We're not the ones that did the damage to the case. I'm not the one, and a lot of these people are not the one that made that call out there for these allegations toward Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly to come forward. Not at all. You say his Uncle Jim is his co-defendant in his Illinois case along with McDavid. Yeah, all of a sudden, but they're trying to get their case separated too, though, right, Candy? I'm pretty sure I could have sworn that I read that. I'm just trying to understand prosecutorial. It's like, it's damn if you do and it's damn if you don't. If you kind of choose to talk about something back in 1998 with all of the allegations that these people were saying. Where's my phone at? Let me show you. Let me see if I can find one for you right quick. Is you saying that speaking about this right here wouldn't be relevant to this case? This right here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me disconnect my headphones. Give me a second. This right here. Not bringing up what Michael Avenatti allegations were about the $2 million being paid to Rashonda Landfair
not
parents.
To testify
You don't think that this would
and
be
come forward
important?
in connection with the 2008 trial. So to those
we're
R.
not
Kelly
upset.
fans
I don't even have a
who want
one
to
mod or
talk
two
about
mods
the
in here.
2008 trial and the fact that he was acquitted, it was bogus. R. Kelly bought his acquittal. He bought this victim and their parents and ensured that the truth was never told to that jury in 2008. Be clear. R. Kelly and those around him obstructed justice in connection with the 2008 trial. Those are some of the charges that he now faces. And I am highly confident that when all the evidence is heard, that he will be convicted, along with others around him, of obstructing justice in connection with the 2008 trial. Shortly after we turned over the tape to Ms. Fox's office, we began working closely with federal investigators, both from Homeland Security and the offices of the U.S. Attorney, again in Illinois, and the Eastern District of New York. That began approximately 6 months ago. We provided client interviews, production of evidence, including text messages. There were proffer sessions, and there was testimony. This process included interviews of multiple victims who described in great detail how they had been victimized and sexually assaulted by Robert Kelly when they were 14, 15, 16 years of age. This took place with multiple federal agents present, largely here in Chicago. Witnessing these young victims describe how they had been assaulted across years in some instances by Mr. Kelly was nothing short of gut-wrenching. They described how Mr. Kelly, together with his enablers, had trafficked in these young girls, forced them to commit lewd sex acts with him and others. We are not talking about 1, 2, 5, or even 10 witnesses, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about dozens of young girls. This conduct included transporting these young women across state lines, including to and from Florida, as well as the state of Indiana. Our work in connection with federal prosecutors and investigators also included bringing forward whistleblowers who retained me, and I voluntarily brought them
so let me ask you, prosecutor, who dismissed the case? When was the court hearing on it? What's the court hearing number? So I can pull it up right now. Who dismissed the case? What time was this hearing? When did it get filed? When did it get filed? We're talking about Illinois. I'm not talking about New York right now. I know what happened in New York. I know what happened in New York. We're talking about Illinois. We're talking about what these people had done to even bring about Illinois charges against Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. Here you have Michael Avenatti, who is saying that the parents of Rashonda Landfair were paid $2 million, but yet then no evidence or any of that was brought forth. Who nulled it involved? Who did it, prosecutor? Give me a name. My finger is on the button, and I'm sitting up here pulling it up, and I don't see a goddamn thing about his case being nulled and void. What judge granted that? What judge granted it? Because I don't see anything. If you want me to go even further, you want me to go on a court listener, if you think that it's on there, share the information, girl. Give us the tea. But I'm talking about Illinois. That's what my commentary was. Illinois. From the past to the present, and asking the chat just a simple question of something that I just needed some clearance on. That's all I did. The Minnesota case is null and void. No, we're not talking about whether if you feel that Chicago will be dismissed. We're asking you to give us the tea on who nulled and void Minnesota case. What judge, what time, who signed off of it, what attorney was there to get this null and void. Who did all of this information, and where can we find this at, girl? You got some juicy tea. Because I can't find a goddamn thing. Okay, Amber, so let me look that up. Now, you want me to look up Oh, I don't need to know. You're asking me, okay. Okay, you want me to look up what it is? Is breaking the law or a code of ethics? Oh, no, let's do this. Let's do this. This is what you're asking me to look up. Why do I think? Are you asking to prosecutorial misconduct? Breaking a law or code of ethics while working as a prosecutor? That's a good question, Positive. Why do you think the Chicago case will be dismissed? That's a good question. I most definitely have insight as to what's happening legally. You know what, prosecutor? We done heard that from everybody on the goddamn YouTube streets. Now you give us a reason why we should believe what you are saying. Tell us that. Why should we believe what you're saying? As much shit has been going down on this YouTube streets. Here you are with no picture up. Your name is prosecutorial misconduct, and with the meaning of you will break the law. You are a code of ethics, and you will be working as a prosecutor with that type of name, with that name, and we supposed to believe you. You want the One Papoose channel to believe that you have the insight on what's happening legally to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's case. Ms. Bonjean's supplemental motion will be self-explanatory. Let me go over here and see if there's something coming up for that. Hold on a second. Because you're funny. You say you've been hearing that too, Pap, about the Minnesota case, but I have Shady. It's been all over out here, and I've heard it. Hi, Soldier. It's been out here, but until I see a case just doesn't disappear like magic dust, like you just sprinkle magic dust on it. Doesn't happen that way. Who's presiding it? What attorney is going to sign off on? Who's going to agree to this? You got to have both parties to agree to this. Who's going to do this? Is this going to be some under the table? I mean, it's good that it can go away. That's a good thing. Make it go away. But it doesn't go away just waving a magic wand. It just doesn't happen that way. Now, either it's there and it just doesn't exist, or what? I don't know. You right, this is a woo child. Bonjean has yet to file the supplemental motion. Don't she still have time to do so? A supplemental motion. You mean a supplemental motion regarding Minnesota? Are you trying to say that Minnesota is in her hand now too, being the lead attorney, the appellate attorney for Mr. Kelly from New York? Is that what you're saying? I hope it's true too. Yes, we would all, that's one less worry in the world. You're absolutely right. But until the same time, if there's no paperwork being produced out here where you can actually read it, it doesn't exist. If you have not heard it in the newspaper, and you know good goddamn well, matter of fact, I'll pull that stuff up in the Minnesota Journal. But we gonna need the proof. We gonna need the proof, girl. Oh my God, why does my thing look so weird? Oh, this is not it. Hold on, let me go back. What she say? Malicious conspiracy. I'm not buffering over here. I don't know positive vibes. I don't know. She just came in and said that she has the news about, Minnesota, and I just asked her to, since she has a tea and she's sharing this information with us, then tell me where I can find it at so that I can share accurate information. She says that a prosecutor had implied that we're giving out wrong information, but the information that I was talking about and just addressing was just Mr. Kelly's past previous trial and for the 2008. That's what I was speaking on. And then she just asked, well, how is that relevant or irrelevant? One of them. So, and I was just saying, well, we're just keeping small change talk over here. That's it. She says she has no reason to fabricate or lie. And we're not asking you to. But you know how it is out here on these streets. If you gonna bring something, then I put the link in. You're welcome to come on here and show the chat. So then that way it makes your word as bond. Then you stand strong. You came with the info. I've been hearing it out here, but I still ain't seen nothing. Nothing. Scheduling order as of March 10th, 2022. The court has received the defendants, page 273, motion for the acquittal. The government response is due by March 21st, 2022. And the defendant's reply, if any, is due by April 4th. 22, ordered by Judge Ann Donnelly on March 10th. And we're just at what? March 11th. So there's nothing updated on here. No, I did not read that one. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I still don't see it. I don't see it. Hold on. I'm looking. I mean, if it happened, it's good news. It's good news. It is good news. It's no big deal. Let me go on Malicious Conspiracy page. Anybody been on Malicious Conspiracy? What's Shannon doing? I was just on it on the I just gonna close it out too. The last thing that I see on Jennifer Bonjeans is that there's no response yet on the Pacer account, prosecutor. There's nothing on there yet. The 2933 of NY, okay. I didn't see anything on that one either. Give me a second. I still want to, let me check this first. I just don't. I guess I don't see any update on this, and I'm in the Minnesota. I do not see any update on this. None. So maybe it's me. Yes, the government response is due by the 21st. I just read that. Then they give the other people up until April 4th. And then it goes back in the. Yeah, I don't. Okay. You say don't start with Jason. Jason was ride or die pap over here. He be hanging out with us. Well, you guys, I'm going to get up out of here. And like I say, I'll keep waiting for the information to drop. So I just don't see anything. The government may not respond given the powerful motion the Bunjin presented. The government may not respond. Okay. Pending the powerful motion that Bunjin presented. You said, how did Attorney Michael, know about the sex tape? I think through a word of mouth. I do. It was so many people that said that they had this particular tape. Jason, it was crazy. You had the information from Jim Derogatis, who claims that he called Sparkle down and Sparkle went to look over. God, what is the screen that keeps popping up? The government has to respond. I just left it there, Candy. I mean, at some point, a response has to be whether it's accepted, rejected. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just gonna post a letter out there. They just gonna post the emotion coming back from Bunjin, and the government may not respond. They have to have a response on the docket. What are you guys going to do? Are you not going to contest it? You know, like, do you let it fly or what? So I left that one right there for you to answer on that one, Capone. I left that one for you. I was like, what? They just gonna leave that out there like that? No. Do they accept it? Do they pass? What are they gonna do with it? I don't know. It's possible that the government is willing to cut Bunjin a deal and that she can't refuse. Now, you know what? You got too many possibilities going on in the chat, prosecutor. You got two. First, you got it's possible the government is willing to cut Bunjin a deal that she can't refuse. Now it's possible that the government will do that. And then you came back and then above that you says that, well, the government won't. The government. The supplemental motion is coming soon. The government, then you said up here, the government may not respond given the powerful motion Bunjin presented. You don't even know what you want to say. You making accusations right now. You're not okay. You making accusations. You made two different ones. You said Lisa slept with, yeah, hopefully that won't come back up in Illinois at all, Jason. Those are accusations that you just put in the chat. What you mean you didn't say pending? You made two accusations. Your first one was the government may not respond giving the powerful motion Bunjin presented. Therefore, you're not even sure about what's going on. It's an accusation. If you go down here, you came back with a second one by saying that Bonjean will be responding soon. That you don't know for a fact. Then you come back with this one to Positive Vibe. You reply to her that the possible government, it's possible now. You don't know for sure, but it's possible now that the government will be willing to cut Bonjean a deal she can't refuse. Well, wouldn't you be implying that against what you stated at first, that they don't have to respond? Well, in order to cut her a deal, that will cause a respondent reply. What do you want to do? What? Ain't nobody misconstrued by your statement. You need to cut it. You need to cut it. Cut it. Cut it. You need to cut it. You making all these accusations in here. You sitting over here with the name of prosecutor misconduct. Really? You are a bad character act right now. You're acting bad as a character. You acting bad. I'm about to formally charge you for your misconduct right now. I'm still hung up on a deal. Yeah, that's true. We all stand by Mr. Kelly. We all do. But you came in the chat room like, oh my God, why y'all talking about this? It's not irrelevant. You know, when it comes to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, what more can you do out here? Whether if you talk about the past or the present. I understand what you're saying. Well, make it accurate. But yet then, you are in the room with accusations right now. You say you still what you say? Well, yeah, we all try to stand by him, but keep in mind, prosecutor, because out here on the street, ain't nobody to misconstrue your words. I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna pin it up on the screen so you can see exactly what your accusations were. The government may not respond. That's what you said. Pin the message. They may not respond, giving the powerful motion that Bonjean presented. And we all know what the powerful motion was, right, prosecutor? Are you speaking on the one where she brought out the information about the parents? Are you talking about that one? Is you talking about that one? Because I have that too. Are you talking about that one? Or are you, and so then you said that. That's what you said. The government, then you says that the government, wait a minute, let me go back up to your other one. We'll stop the chat. So then you came back with the other accusations that the, where the heck is it at? Oh, you're not a female? I'm sorry. My apologies. With the screen names, you don't know. So over here, we usually have predominantly a lot of things. Muddy, you're going to have to send me her name from Minnesota. I don't know that woman's name. Oh, she was okay. So she's referring to the post-trial motion for New York. I'm on there, and I know that there's a response waiting from each party. I'm looking at that. I see it right here. I see the dates on here, and I just literally read it in the chat. I just read what happened on March 10th. What the update was on March 10th. Where are we? Let me go. I had to pin her post up because they're accusations. March 10th, scheduling order. Okay, let me go here. She did the motion for the extension for time to file the supplemental rule 33. We got that. That was entered on February the 27th. I got that. I'm brought up to speed. I mean, and I understand that this is where prosecutor is getting her information, but we were talking, she came in, you say, do you not want him free? Thank you for the name, Capone. Let me write that down. You say, do I want him free? Of course so, but what does that have to do with me talking about anything? I'm not presiding the freaking case. I'm not the one out here all shaky and toe up from the floor up with some bullshit. Mm-mm. No. Bonjain is preparing for the Chicago, trying to get the NY conviction overturned or the new child. Yes. Now, I'm going to go over here because I am going to open 274 up. Letter motion extension, okay? For the Rule 33, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to read it, prosecutor. And then after that, on March 1st, it came back, ordered granting the 274 motion of extension to file the defendant's supplemental Rule 33. It is due by March 21st. No further extensions will be granted. Ordered by Judge Donnelly on March 1st. Don Michelle entered on March 1st. After this, Judge Donnelly will not be granting not another extension on this Rule 33 supplemental motion that you're talking about. You say again that they do not have to respond or contest. Let me open this up. Motion for acquittal. Which one do you want to read first? 273 or 274? The motion for the acquittal or the supplemental Rule 33 motion? Hey, Brenda. Go ahead, sweetie. Because I ain't never seen it where they don't. Oh, well, I guess we'll just pack up our suitcase now and go. Their job is to fight. And so I can't see where, they're not going to fight. I don't see it. According to this here, this is dear Judge Donnelly. Undersigned counsel filed defendant's Rule 33 motion on February the 17th. That same day, the defendant sought an extension from this court for an additional 30 days to the supplemental defendant's Rule 33 motion if necessary. This court denied the motion without prejudice to refile because the defendant failed to ascertain whether the government consented to the request. The defendant respectfully requests a 3-week extension to file supplemental Rule 33 motion. The defendant requests until March 21st to file a supplemental Rule 33 motion if necessary. Now, keep in mind, what was the argument before was that the judge denied about the 56 pages was entirely too goddamn long. She didn't want to read it, but she did take time to read 156 pages that was presented by the prosecution, and the juror got to read, and they had time for that. So yes, I remember her coming back showing a disparate treatment. Wait a minute here. Why do I have to be double spaced it and kappa and this and this and that in order for you to read mine? She got granted that. Okay, fine. Resubmit it. I will. She granted that, and they took that. So now we are here. Okay. The government opposed the requesting stating. So we have consented to numerous prior extensions and believe that you have had sufficient time to prepare post-trial motions. Undersigned counsel has not had sufficient time to ensure that all of the defendants' Rule 33 claims have been presented to this court for consideration, particularly those premised on ineffective assistance of counsel. Undersigned counsel filed her appearance in this matter on October 29th. What undersigned counsel are they talking about? Put it in the chat, people. It was which one? Her appearance of October 29th to 2021. The court ordered the defendant to file the post-trial motion by December 29th of 2021. Undersigned counsel worked diligently over the next 60 days, reading the voluminous record in the case, researching various issues, and consulting with the defendant. Undersigned counsel sought an additional 30-day extension on December 27, 2021. Do I need to bring those extensions up? For the reasons identified in her letter, filed under docket number 260. After the filing of that letter, the MDC, they went on a lockdown for the next 5 weeks. First, because of the rampant spread of the Omicron strain of the C-19. And then because of the nationwide BOP lockdown related to security issues. The undersigned counsel was unable to visit with the defendant during the entirety of that time, was largely unable to speak to him by phone or through Zoom. The MDC was in a complete disarray, and securing Zoom visits were virtually impossible as they were in high demand and inmates were not being moved. Apart from a few phone calls, undersigned counsel simply could not have meaningful communications with her client during this 5-week time period. On February the 1st of 2022, the date on which the undersigned counsel sought a 2-week extension to file the defendant's post-trial motion. Docket number 264. The entire BOP, they went on a nationwide lockdown for a week, further interviewing with undersigned counsel's ability to communicate with the defendant. Indeed, undersigned counsel's first confirmed Zoom meeting with the defendant, scheduled for February 3rd, 2022. Well, that was canceled because of the nationwide lockdown. Undersigned counsel did not have the opportunity to visit with the defendant until February the 10th. 1 week before the deadline, before the filing of his post-trial motions. The undersigned counsel did her utmost to meet the February the 17th, 22 deadline for the filing of the post-trial motion, but has not had the opportunity to discuss with the defendant certain claims that may have been appropriately raised in his Rule 33 motion. As this court knows, the defendant trial team only withdrew from the case as of February the 2nd. Since that date, the undersigned counsel has had inadequate time to discuss with the defendant certain aspects of his prior representation to determine whether they form the basis of additional claims that must be raised in his Rule 33 motion without forfeiting those claims for appellate review. There are some things that she needs to be brought back to light, that she wants to have stand still, because she wants to put herself in a position to address and bring these issues up in front of the appellate court. She needs it to happen. Let's move on. Undersigned counsel must consult with the defendant to determine whether certain decisions related to his representation were made pursuant to strategy or were objectively unreasonable. You say, where can you find the? Oh, I have to. Somebody could drop the link. I can post a link in there for you. A 3-week extension will not cause undue prejudice to the government and will not cause significant additional delay to these proceedings. Granting this request will not interfere with the defendant's sentencing hearing, which is currently scheduled for May 4th. May 4th. Therefore, the defendant respectfully requests until March 21st to file a supplemental Rule 33 motion if necessary. As a courtesy to the court and the government, the undersigned counsel wishes to flag the possibility that the defendant will seek to adjourn to his sentencing hearing until after the conclusion of his trial in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. As a courtesy to the court, the government, undersigned counsel wishes to flag it. Hold on. The possibility that the defendant will seek to adjourn his sentencing hearing. Stop it. Hold on. So it's like they want to revert back to Chicago first. Let's see what's going to happen there before the sentencing is handed down to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. Might be a possibility that, well, no, I'm not going to even say that. I'm not going to say it. Let me move on. Let me keep that train of thought to myself. Scheduled to commence on hearing until after the conclusion of his trial in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. Scheduled to commence on August 1st. 2022. The defendant will file an appropriate motion in short course if he decides to make such requests. So that is still up in the air, whether if they are going to decide to flag the sentencing hearing coming up for May 4th. So that they can see what the conclusion of his trial, the output of the trial for the Northern District of Illinois. They want to jump into that before they can do the May 4th, hand me down of the sentence. Okay. Respectfully submitted, Jennifer Bungie. That's it. That's all on that one. I'm not going to open up another one. So, I am getting ready to get up out of here. I am going to... Wait a minute. Let me go here. Let me look here. Nothing, 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 nothing. Hold on, let me go back. I have to stop sharing that, so hold on. Go back. Go back, go back, go back. Did it just sign me out my Google? I gotta wait for my screen to stop sharing, you guys, because I got information up. Okay, there we go. Oh, hell no. No, no, no. Okay, I'm going to close that out because I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm going to go back here. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 11 o'clock, you guys. I do not see it, you guys. I don't see nothing about no dismiss the case. So, with that being said, is there anything else that you guys want to say? Because other than that, I'm going to wrap it up here. So, one in the chat, if we're going to say good night, and because it's time for me to go to bed. It's time for me to go to bed. I came on, vibe with you guys once again. I'm kind of feeling okay right now, probably until I lay down. So I've been suggested to lay flat down off of a pillow. I'm going to give that a try tonight. I hope all of you guys have enjoyed yourselves over here tonight. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Pass the channel on. I will continue to try to do my research on it. And keep in mind, commentary today was just to have some fun or some to learn a few more things or bring up some of the past things that had to coincide or came about with the 2002 through the 2008 trial of Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, and that's that. You say 10 o'clock, time ain't went back, nothing. Get up out of here. Y'all left me in here by myself. I had Priscilla and Galatians. That's about it. So I guess it was something else on out there, but it's all good because everybody usually behaves. So you say can't get sidetracked. I stand absolutely, K Shady, absolutely. But I'm sitting over here like these are accusations that you're making. I mean, I'm open for correcting the channel. I'm also open for, okay, then bring the information and here's the link and get up here and put it out. But nobody wants to do that. No, just put it out. You know, I can only go by what I'm seeing and what I'm reading. And right now, I don't see anything on that. I just got off of the Pacer account, so I see everything. I get alerts and everything. But it is so time consuming to come on here and be honest because people are going to hear, what they want to hear any freaking way or read what they want to way. I ain't paying no attention to the Girl Scouts out here. Got binoculars on all the way across country and looking for you to make like one goddamn one and then they is on your head. I ignore all of that shit now, y'all. I don't pay no attention to that stuff no more. Not at all. So, I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all have a beautiful night. I got to go. I got to go. You say post his link? Okay, give me a second. Let me go find it.
about your dreams. Tell me everything, yeah.
Do it, I do it, I do it. Do it, I do it. Oh, I am, girl. I'm tired.
My favorite toy story. Both of us chasing me. Woody. Let me be a fantasy. Swiss on the king, the color. Come find the key, baby. Baby. I don't think I can let you go. I don't
Oh, thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Like I said, I just come on to vibe with you people. You know, I ain't gonna be the perfect one out here. There's gonna be some little ones, but doing this stuff together, yeah, we could get the right, information and to the right level together. That's all. Is that gonna come up? I think that's the right one, lady. Click on that and see if that's correct. I think that's correct. But y'all have a good night. I'm out of here. Tell me what you need, baby.